I want to start by telling you what this channel is not. It's not a place where someone who has everything tells you to just be grateful for what you have. It's not toxic positivity dressed up in pretty fonts. And it is definitely not another voice telling you that if you just think happy thoughts, the money will come. This channel exists because I've been where you might be right now, counting dollars, losing sleep, wondering how people on the other side of struggle ever actually got there. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, I discovered something about gratitude that nobody has ever explained to me honestly. It didn't fix my bank account overnight, but it rewired something in my brain that eventually changed everything. That's what we're going to talk about today. If you've ever lain awake at 3 a.m. in the morning doing math that doesn't add up, if you've ever felt a wave of shame wash over you at a cash register, if you've ever smiled and said, "I'm fine," while quietly falling apart inside, then you already know what the standard advice doesn't land when you're in a survival mode. Count your blessings. Focus on what you have. Gratitude changes everything. I remember hearing those things and feeling honestly angry because when you're struggling, really struggling, being told to be grateful can feel like being handed a band aid for a broken bone. So I'm not going to tell you to be grateful. Not yet. First, I want to tell you what was actually happening in my life, and then I want to show you the difference between gratitude as a performance and gratitude as a rewiring, because they are not the same thing, and only one of them actually works. There was a season in my life where I had almost nothing. I don't mean I had to cut back on lattes, nothing. I mean the kind of nothing where you calculate whether you can afford the gas to drive to the grocery store, where your pride takes a beating every single week, where you start to wonder if this is struggling, this barely making it is just who you are now. And someone with genuinely good intentions gave me a gratitude journal. I almost didn't open it. Because what does writing down what I'm grateful for have to do with any of this? But I was desperate to try anything, so I opened it. And the first night, I sat there with a pen and I couldn't think of a single thing to write. Not because my life had nothing good in it, but because my brain had been so trained to scan for problems, to stay alert, to stay worried, to stay ready for the next thing to go wrong, that it literally could not find the good things anymore. That was the moment I understood what was actually broken. It wasn't just my finances, it was my perception. Here's what I've learned since then and what neuroscience actually backs up. Your brain has something called a reticular activating system. It's basically a filter, and whatever you focus on most, your brain starts finding more of everywhere you look. If you're focused on scarcity, on what's missing, what's wrong, what's not enough, your brain becomes incredibly efficient at finding evidence of that every day, everywhere. Gratitude, real gratitude, not the forced kind, is how you manually reset that filter. It's not pretending things are fine when they're not. It's not ignoring the struggle. It's training your brain to also see what's still standing. What's still working? What, despite everything, is still here? And when your brain starts seeing both, the struggle and the remaining good, something shifts. Not magically, not overnight, but slowly, consistently, it shifts. Here are the three things that actually changed for me when I started practicing gratitude honestly, not performatively. Number one, I stopped making decisions from panic. When your brain is locked in scarcity mode, you make desperate decisions. You take the wrong job because you're scared. You spend money you don't have because you feel so deprived. You push away people who could help you because shame has closed you off. Gratitude, even just 5 minutes a morning, brought me out of the panic frequency just enough to think clearly. The clarity was worth more than any amount of positive thinking. Number two, I started noticing resources I already had. A skill I had forgotten, a person in my life who kept showing up, a quiet strength I'd been using every day without naming it. Abundance doesn't always arrive as money. Sometimes it arrives as a realization of what you already possess. Number three, my energy changed and people noticed. This one is harder to explain scientifically, but I've seen it too many times to dismiss it. When you stop radiating desperation, when you shift even slightly from I have nothing to I have this and I'm building, the people around you respond differently. Opportunities were always there become visible. Conversations go differently. Doors that felt closed start to feel worth knocking on again. That's not magic. That's just what happens when a person starts believing, even a little, that they are worth something. I'm not going to tell you that gratitude solved everything. It didn't. The bills were still there the next morning. The struggle was real. But something in me had been rewired just enough. Just enough to stop making it worse. Just enough to start seeing what I had to work with. Just enough to take one better step the next day, and then another, and then another. That's what this channel is about. Not overnight transformations, not wealth manifestation in 30 days. It's about the slow, honest, deeply personal process of rewiring how you see yourself and your life, even when the circumstances haven't changed yet. Because I believe, I know from living it, that rewiring comes first and everything else follows. If this resonated with you, I want you to do one thing before you sleep tonight. Open your notes app or grab a piece of paper and write down three things that are still standing in your life. Not things you wish you had, things that are here right now. They can be small. The fact that you found this video, someone who loves you, a roof, a working body, a mind that's still searching for better. That's it. That's the first step of the rewire. Subscribe if you want to walk this path together. I'm going to be here for every honest conversation about abundance, mindset, and what it looks like to build a life you love from very little. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just not rewired yet. Let's change that.